This video, maybe you're just a regular follower of the page, and I thank you for that. But maybe you're watching this video because the title stuck out to you and you're getting ready to pivot into your 40s. And you're thinking, okay, let's get some feedback and some suggestions from somebody else. My biggest takeaway for you is, what are you going to carry from your 30s that's worth taking into your 40s? What is it that helps you to value yourself more and contain that self-worth, not only in yourself, but in a radiant way that outputs to other people, that allows you to serve and make your impact, to leave your legacy in the world? What is that going to be? Beyond that, seeing how I look at 40, like compared to where I thought it was. Even 10 years ago when I turned 30, I remember thinking, I'm turning 30. And not like I was in major dread, but I was like, shouldn't I have done more by now? And here I am now 10 years later, and I still have that same thought about myself. Shouldn't I have done more by now? I'm always holding myself to the next standard of what's going to be. So I think that's kind of probably where I'm going to be at even when I turn 50, is I'm going to wonder, like, okay, am I checking off all the things? But I am proud to say that I have learned, I have done more, and I have accomplished way more in my 30s than I ever did in my 20s. Learned how to be more open and to look outside of myself. And a big part of me being able to look outside of myself is learning how to not be so inwardly focused, which leaves me taking myself way too seriously, leaves me in a lot of judgment about myself. And when I have all that judgment about myself, I never want to serve. I never want to show up and volunteer or do amazing things for other people because I have all the judgment about what they're going to be thinking about me. My 30s, it's taken like into the latter part of my 30s to get here, but moving into my 40s, I don't take myself as seriously. I respect myself. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very strongly. I have utmost respect for myself, and I treat myself with respect, and I don't let nobody diss on me about that. But what I'm saying when I don't take myself so seriously is I don't have all this judgment about myself. I'm not putting myself down and tearing myself up because I need to love myself first and the most if anybody else is going to treat me that way. And so that's what I've learned, and I'm taking into my 40s in a much more powerful way. And in doing that, I know my 40s is going to have amazing results, and so much more is going to be manifested and created in my 40s than what was capable of being in my 30s because of where I'm at in my confidence and my self-worth. Oh, y'all, that worth, thinking I am worthy and capable of doing great and amazing things, that is the big power. I always thought it, now I believe it. That's something I'm carrying into my 40s in a big way. It's a lot to transition from youth to being an adult. And so I don't have any judgment about how my 20s were spent. I felt like I was a very effective and mature 20-year-old in those 20 years. And I figured out a lot of things that it took to get into my 30s. And then so now I had that foundation in place. And what I really did with my 30s was figure out that foundation. And then I took like 5 years of just being a mama. And I don't regret any of that. That was time that I needed. I had sought after that and I wanted. And then I made the choice where I was like, I changed my perspective on that. And I made other life choices that set me up for where I'm going in my 40s. All that, yes, that took 10 years in there. That was my whole entire 30s, how I pivoted and made changes and moved from being a young adult to being somebody who felt more mature, more confident, more capable of tackling the bigger things and making a bigger impact. And now I'm ready to rock that out in my 40s. And then when I get to, this is where I would like to be if I am still alive on this earth, is that when I hit 50, I want to look back and say, okay, that was amazing. I took the 20s and my 30s to grow, to learn, to develop, and I really knocked it out. I really applied in my 40s, and I made big things happen, and I had big impact on others. And that was where that big transformation, that big shift happened. It happened in my 40s. And now here I am turning 50 someday, and I can look back and say, I have set myself up. And I love that. And I think, I may be misquoting this, but I think this came from Brooke Castillo, where she says, how can I be a person today who sets myself up for who I'm going to be in the future. So that future self, so in this example, I'm getting ready to turn 40 in 1 week. And instead I can look back when I'm saying I'm 50-year-old Steph. How can 50-year-old Steph look back and go, you set me up good, girl. Like, you gave me everything I needed and then some. You worked your butt off for me, and now I can go enjoy the fruits of that labor. Like, thank you, right? And be like, woohoo! That's where I want to be. When I turn 50, I hope I can record that video and I can look back and I can say, you were an amazing person, Stephanie, and you really knocked it out. And y'all, I'm feeling like, oh, deep breath. I can't even take a deep breath because I feel the snot and the tears building up. Like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about how amazing it's going to be when I turn 50. Y'all, because it is amazing to be here right now with you turning 40. And I can be so grateful for the life that I have and the blessings and how God has crafted me and made me. And it's taken me all these years to understand that and to know how I am made and what my superpowers are and how I don't have to be comparing myself to other people. I am uniquely made and I am awesome and I'm just going to rock it out. Like, this is who I am and this is how I'm going to show up. And this is how I'm going to keep showing up because this is valid and authentic to who I am. And I will attract the right people who like that. And then we'll have fun together and it will be great. But that has been a huge shift I made as well. So come another decade, we're going to see what comes out of that. But there's going to be so much that I'm going to work right now, turning 40, entering my 40s, being amazing throughout them to really make this look different and more phenomenal and really to build off of the framework I've had the last 2 decades and to see where I can keep going from here. I challenge you to do the same. If you're going to turn 40, well, happy birthday to you. Let's be amazing. We are children from 1980. What a fantastic year. And it's amazing and easy for us to keep track on the calendar for how old we are. And that I love about that. But it is also, we have so much that we have seen and become. Just don't take it for granted. You have so much that you can do. So happy birthday to you, to me, and to all of us out there turning 40. Let's knock it out of the park and make it so amazing.